In a hilarious turn of events, the contents of the upcoming Here Be Dragon's secret lair have accidentally been spoiled way in advance.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings! Owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends! I hope the day finds you well, because we have gathered for another installment in the amazing Beadle and Grimm's Here Be Dragon's Secret Lair saga. We have today the contents of the secret lair, but if you're not aware, the actual release announcement for the secret lair was absolutely incredible. The best magic stream there has ever been. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and watch the previous video to this one to get the background information so you can fully appreciate what's going on here. But the short form of the story is, when they did the secret lair announcement, they showed us the special life counter, they showed us the box that went along with it, and they talked in some nebulous terms. But what they didn't do was show a single card from the secret lair, because they said, we want to build up hype, we want to tantalize people. And so here's what was supposed to happen. I'm going to put up on the screen what was supposed to show up on the Beadles and Grimm website when you went looking for these cards, all right? And you can see we've got these little blacked out slots, and it gives you a little bit of hype going, oh, check it out, we're going to have special foil dragons. There's 7 of them in here. We got sleeves, we got a box, all that goodness. But where are the cards, right, in this image? Well, this is not the image that they initially put up. No, instead, they accidentally put up these images. So as you can see, you can sort out everything that is available in these images. It's not hard to parse it down to what the actual cards are. So we're going to go through all of the cards that have been spoiled here. Every single one of these cards is done in the Dungeons and Dragons art style. There will be only 10,000 available of each of these cards. And as far as I understand, they will be numbered editions as well, right? So some of you may be going, whoa, they'll never reprint these again. Bear in mind, there's nothing saying that Wizards can't reprint these editions of these cards. So, keep that in your head as you think about whether you're going to snag this up. Now, on the screen right now, we're starting out with the Tiamat, and I have to say that in terms of the monster manual style that they've done here, this Tiamat actually looks way more impressive than the original one, at least to me. The colored artwork from the AFR set is pretty impressive, don't get me wrong. Tiamat looks awesome, right? But there's just something about the monster manual style that gives her an extra level of menace. I don't know if it's the fact that you're not even sure if there's a 6th head in there. At first you're like, wait a minute, did Tiamat grow a 6th dragon head? What's going on? Either way, I'm a fan of old school D&D, so I'm a big fan of this style of artwork, but it's very hit and miss, right? It doesn't have the same sort of wide scale appeal. So this secret lair is going to be for particular people. I think what they're going for with this really is Beadle and Grimm started out selling high-end D&D stuff, right? So you turn around and go, all right, well, if we're going to make this secret lair with magic cards, why don't we make it appeal ultimately to our main customer base, which is why we're seeing Dungeons and Dragons dragons done in Dungeons and Dragons styling, right? So you've got your Tiamat, obviously one of the absolute best cards that we're going to see in this entire box set, right? She's a 7/7 flyer that when she enters the battlefield lets you, if you cast it, search your library for up to 5 different dragons not named Tiamat. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty crazy. Gets you a giant squad of dragons, and ultimately it just feels really good to see Tiamat in like dragon card form. So the D&D dragons are really cool. The next one that we're going to talk about here is Imrith the Desert Doom. Now this one to me feels like one of the most underrated dragons from the set, right? Like, it's 2 blue and 3 for a 5/5 flyer. It has ward 4 as long as it's untapped. And whenever you deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card, but if their hand is bigger than your hand size, then you get to draw even more cards, right? So this is like a tight little package in terms of it's difficult to disrupt with the ward, and on top of that, you get to feed more cards in your hand. For like a blue control package, this feels like a very solid body overall, right? And this is definitely one of the best blue dragons in Magic's history. That new one coming out in Baldur's Gate, though, that'll let you drop to 20 cards. That is also pretty insane. So, Imrith, a solid include. Obviously, we're not going to get to see all the D&D artwork, so we'll have to wait for that. But we can at least talk about the individual cards, right? After that, we have Icing Death Frost Tyrant. Now, this is a really interesting card design, right? 2 white and 2 get you a 4/3 flying legendary dragon. But the really interesting part is when this dragon dies, it basically gets turned into a magical sword. That's what's going on. You create Icing Death Frost Tongue, which is a legendary white piece of equipment that gives equipped creature +2/+0 and lets you tap down one of your opponent's creatures when you swing with it, right? So it's basically you take this dragon and turn it into this ice blade. Now you're getting both the dragon itself and a card representing the dragon's sword. And this is where a little bit of confusion comes in for me in terms of this secret layer, because what we're dealing with is an announcement that says 2 different things. On the Beadle and Grimm's website, at one point it says 7 special foil dragon cards. At another point, it says 8 special foil dragon cards. So we have the possibility that it's just incorrect information, right? Because what we've seen so far is that the Beadles and Grimm, they're not too tight with the information. So this might just be an inaccuracy more than anything. It might just turn out it is just 7 cards. Or that might be somebody going, oh, we've got 7 plus the bonus card. Oh, we're supposed to keep the bonus card a secret. So when it comes to the actual card that's specifically made for this magical sword, right? We can only see the last 2 letters. When you look at the cards that were spread out with the D&D artwork there, we can only make out the last 2 letters. But when you look at that particular card, you can see it doesn't have a casting cost. It literally ends with the proper letters to be the token. So it is a bit strange to me that they had 7 different cards fanned out. They said 7 special dragon cards, but one of them isn't a dragon card. It's a sword. Maybe it counts to them as a dragon because it's a sword made out of a dragon. And I guess theoretically this could mean that there could be up to 2 more cards that we didn't see splayed out. Because if you don't count the actual token as a card, which in some cases they don't, right? The Bitter Blossom Secret Lair did not count the tokens as individual like magic cards. So it's unclear whether you're going to get 7 actual dragons, 8 actual dragons, or 6 dragons and a token, or 7 dragons and a token. That part, we don't have 100% of the details about the secret layer, but we have all the contents. I feel like the token, like the bonus card, would be the sword, right? Like you have all of these dragons, and then your bonus card is, oh, check it out, cool. This is the sword that is made by Icing Death. But that is purely speculation on my point. That is the most interesting part of it. Do we know the bonus card, and is the bonus card the Frost Tongue, right? So, what other dragons do we have included in here? We have Inferno of Starmouth. This thing is bonkers. When this thing gets slapped on the board against you, it feels so bad. You know you're done, right? It's 2 red and 4 for a 6/6 flying haste that can't be countered. You pay a red to give it +1/+0. It's got fire breathing. But when its power becomes 20 this way, it does 20 damage as well to any target. So you just pump crazy amounts of red mana into it until the dragon's like, and it just blasts this massive beam of fiery death. It's awesome, right? That is a cool, like, these are cool choices. A bunch of mythic dragons. The final one to round out the dragons that we're talking about here, actually, I shouldn't say final, there's 2 more. The second to last one is Old Gnawbone. This is 2 green and 5 for a 7/7 flyer. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. So, between this and Tiamat, those are going to be your 2 big draws for this secret lair in particular. These are the cards that, out of all these dragons, really reached the heights of desirability. Now, based on the artwork and limited nature of these other ones too could be more desirable, but Old Gnawbone, in my opinion, that and Tiamat are going to stand head and shoulders above the rest of the cards in this secret lair. Now, the final dragon that we have to talk about is Ebondeth the Draco Lich, and this is another one where they actually did it in the D&D style, but unlike the one we looked at before, Tiamat, where I feel like it's better artwork, the Ebondeth dungeons, it definitely feels like Monster Manual artwork 100%, but it doesn't feel as impressive and as intense as the original Ebondeath artwork to me. But it's a pretty solid card, right? I mean, you get 2 black and 2 for a 5/2 flyer. It enters the battlefield tapped, and that's obviously because he has the ability to keep coming back from your graveyard, because you can cast him from your graveyard as long as a creature that wasn't him basically went to the graveyard. And you'd be like, yo, what up? I'm back again. Surprise. I'm a dragon with the power of an undead lich. I'm gonna keep going and going. That is mega intense. So, my friends, I have to admit, I'm genuinely amused that they went out of their way to not spoil a single card when they revealed the secret lair, and then accidentally spoiled them all on their website within a few minutes. It is pretty amusing. If you didn't see the earlier video and you want a genuine laugh, you have strongly missed out. You should go and do so. I'm going to leave links on the screen here to that video and to my Magic Lore channel in case you'd like to hear some cool stories. Thanks for coming by. Big shout out to my patrons, and I'll see you all next time.